After that, we will tell you all about the fire at Horsetooth last week.
And we will bring you updates on a new travel tourism class CSU is offering.
All this and more starting now on CTV, Channel 11. Late last week, Fort Collins fire authorities responded to a wildfire burning in the Laurie State Park. Fort Collins police have arrested and are currently holding 34-year-old Robert McGee on suspicion of second-degree arson and criminal mischief. He has no prior criminal history in Colorado. Investigators believe that McGee started this fire out of anger after an argument with his mother. The fire began around 11 in the morning Thursday and was completely contained by 4:30 that same afternoon. The damage caused by the fire was said to have burned more than 16 acres and costing more than $5,000 in resources.
CSU has approved renovations for the Andrew Clark Building, located at the heart of the CSU campus. The Clark Building has been standing since 1968 and is home to the College of Liberal Arts and is heavily utilized by the university as a whole. Although the total cost of the renovations is not currently known, CSU Vice President of University Operations Lynn Johnson told the Collegian the cost could be upwards of $145 million. These renovations plan to add 70,000 square feet to the Clark Building, as well as providing it with new study areas and classrooms. We'll have more information on the story as it develops.
For Fort Collins residents and students looking for an efficient, inexpensive way to travel from Fort Collins to Greeley, your search may be over. Greeley Transit has announced that a bus line will now be running from Fort Collins to Greeley, making a stop in Windsor as well. The bus, called the Pooter Express, was given a unanimous donation of $20,000 by the CSU Alternative Transportation Fee Advisory Board. This route will have 5 buses running 7 times a day, Monday through Friday. Although no official route has been set, the bus is said to be roughly following the path of the Pooter River connecting the University of Northern Colorado and CSU. In an email to the Rocky Mountain Collegian, Noah Fishman, vice chair of the Alternative Transportation Fee Advisory Board, said, "It simultaneously fills a demand, increases sustainability, and complements social justice."
The city of Fort Collins is currently moving to make a decision on what to do with the site of former CSU's football stadium, Hughes. The city took charge of the zoning in July and has plans to split the 168-acre piece of land in 2 halves. The city is recommending the west half be zoned into residential foothills and the east half be zoned into a low-density mixed-use neighborhood in hopes to keep a good portion of the land undeveloped. The zoning board will meet noon on Friday to hold a work session on what to do with the land. They will present their final idea to City Council on September 19th. This session will be open to the public for comments. We'll have more on this story as it develops. Tune in to CTV to find out more.
As summer comes to a close and campers get their last trips for the year, it's important to remember campfire safety.
Here in Fort Collins, we love the outdoors. Sometimes, however, wildfires interrupt our ability to enjoy the wilderness, but they can be a necessary and even beneficial occurrence as they are a natural part of the ecosystem and provide an important service for our outdoor areas.
They provide a lot of benefits like kind of restarting these ecosystems. They clear out a lot of the understory brush in kind of our lower elevation forests, like those closest to us in the kind of the lower front range, lower elevation areas.
Just last Thursday, there was a fire near Horsetooth Reservoir. It was on the smaller side and was 100% contained relatively quickly.
So we have wildfires from anywhere from April to September, October, right here in Colorado, and a lot of ways that's kind of penned in by times of snow or heavy rain.
As summer draws to a close and campers get their last trips in, it's important to remember to contain campfires to prevent forest fires.
Having a shovel, a pail of water, making sure that when you go to bed at night that fire is completely out, making sure it's out and cold, adding dirt to those hot embers, things like that.
Fire safety is extremely important, and it's vital that everyone does their part to stay safe and keep our camping grounds fire-free.
Due to a high level of mosquitoes infected with the West Nile virus, the city sprayed pesticides on the 8th of September. Fort Collins has reported that in the northeastern quadrant of the city, 70% of mosquitoes trapped were infected with West Nile virus. The spraying took place largely in central and northern Fort Collins, which encompasses the CSU campus. There was another date for spraying set for September 11th. However, due to a recent decline in bugs with the virus, the city will no longer be spraying on this date.
The Larimer County Coroner's Office has identified the victim of a fatal motorcycle crash that occurred in Poudre Canyon. 30-year-old Brent Machado of Bellevue was pronounced dead on the scene due to multiple blunt force injuries. The crash took place on Colorado Highway 14 near the 110-mile marker. Machado was the only fatality at the scene. However, the passenger he was with sustained injuries as well. His condition and identity have not yet been released by Colorado State Patrol. This accident was the fourth motorcycle fatality to occur in the Loveland-Fort Collins area since late June.
If you have noticed increased traffic on the I-25 between South Fort Collins and Denver, you could be seeing longer waits closer to Fort Collins. The 16-mile-long express lane expansion starting at Johnstown coming up to Fort Collins. This project will include overnight closures on Prospect and I-25. Traffic will be rerouted on the off-ramps and detour roads during closures. These closures could impact you if you are planning on attending CSU night football games in October or November. CDOT will be hosting an open house from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Colorado Welcome Center. Staff will be presenting information on construction, alternate routes, and taking any questions people have. We'll have more information on this topic as it develops. Students at CSU who are interested in taking culinary arts and tourism now have the opportunity to get some hands-on experience through Professor Christina Minahan's new course. Culinary tourism is a brand new course available for Colorado State University students this year. The course, taught by Professor Christina Minahan, educates students on culinary practices around the world and more.
One of the largest industries in the world, and culinary tourism has a huge impact as well. So the class looks at how tourism is developing in this sector. We'll talk about how it is impacted in communities and how they can really use it to brand and market. Also have a ton of restaurants, so they're seeing more restaurants per capita in Colorado. So a lot of people come from different areas just to try the food and the beer. So it's a great place to begin this class and dive deeper.
Culinary tourism is offered in 3 ways: online in the fall, on campus in the spring, and a study abroad class in the summer. The course is offered to upper division juniors and seniors as well as graduate students.
Honestly, it was the one class I was super looking forward to. We got to talk about every country that we were going into, and then afterwards we would have a discussion about, our experiences with, culinary tourism. It was very, hands-on, very educational. We all had a great time. Culinary tourism was by far my favorite class, not only on the ship, but probably of all the classes I've taken here at CSU and, in all of my educational past. Have fun, really. I mean, food is fun. Take culinary tourism because that is such a fun class and everything's super relatable. You're gonna see it, you're gonna use it, you'll be able to notice things in restaurants, and you'll have a greater appreciation for culinary tourism, and maybe you'll find a career in it one day.
That looks like such a fun and unique opportunity for any students who are interested in culinary tourism. Not everyone has the resources to gain experience like that. So if you are interested at all in culinary tourism and how food affects the economies of different countries, you can definitely consider enrolling.
After receiving an unacceptable rating on a restaurant inspection on the 28th of August, Torchy's Tacos is now back within compliance following another inspection Thursday. The first inspection came after a diner reported he and members of his family fell ill from eating there. Following this, Larimer County Department of Health and Environment learned the 8 employees at the store had been sick between the 20th and 25th of August. At least 9 other people have filed a complaint that they became sick after eating Torchy's Tacos during this time.
That is all we have for news this week. Please stay tuned for Ren Wadsworth with weather to find out if fall weather will be coming to Fort Collins.